Here is the thing. I want to talk about one and only Sultan of the Jinn, King of the Shadim, Lord of the Clifford and Johanna, King Paimon. One and only, guys. I want to talk about him tonight because I am really pissed off. So I want to talk about King Paimon to calm myself and to give some useful tips for black magicians about King of the Jinn and Demons, King Paimon. Well, there is a lot of information floating about him with questionable accuracy. Okay, people wanna present King Paimon as some sweet guy who is just helping people around and working with people and working for their own benefit. And that's true. Paimon is really nice to beginners and he works always for the benefit of the initiate who is working with him. Now, where I see the problem with this image? People are completely neglecting and jumping over key characteristics of king, of emperor. They are neglecting the amount of effort one needs to invest in order to master the secrets king is teaching. He is the one of the 9 kings and gatekeepers who are extremely willing to push initiate further, and they will purposefully, or Paimon will at the later stages of the work, purposefully give you extremely difficult tasks in order to push you. And the advantage of working with him is that he will indeed guide you through the process, but he will give you more difficult tasks than some other spirits. And by completing those tasks, you will be forced to use your mind, and you will be forced to manipulate other people and to guide them to move according to your will, without using a lot of physical force and effort, energetically or physically. He will always develop you in a way that you use soft power and influence in order to achieve things. And he many times won't show you correct methodology, direct methodology. He will really force you to develop those soft ways of influencing people on your own. And important part of working with King Paimon is to realize how human mind functions, how desire functions, how thought functions, how intrigue functions. And he will usually leave bits and pieces into your mind for you to draw your own conclusion. But important thing in regard to work with Paimon is that he will always correct you if you have a wrong conclusion. But he will not immediately give you the right conclusion later on. He will indeed force you to think for yourself and to work yourself towards the goal. Because, as he likes to say, work towards the influence, and influencing is what makes black magician. So if you really work with King Paimon, you need to be willing to work hard, and you need to be willing to work daily and with discipline. Because discipline is key and core value he subscribes to. Now, there is also one interesting note in working with the king, and that is the fact that he is a Jinn. Now, let me explain. The Jinn is every spirit who descends from the Jinn, father of the Jinn. And now, when we literally summarize that he is a Jinn, let's explain what type of Jinn he is and how his energy will influence you, and how Jinnic energy in general influences the initiate. So here is the thing. Paimon is the mix between Ifrit and Marid. So he is a really powerful Jinn of noble breed indeed, of extremely high rank, by origin and by achievement. He is really fiery in essence, full of fiery element, even for the Jinnic standards. But he is really calm when you work with him. He carries that fiery essence with dignity, and he is able to control that essence. This is not the case for all of the Jinn. But since he is made of that strong fiery element, there is one side effect. If you work with him long enough and intensely enough, and if that smokeless fire really enters your aura and core of your soul, what will happen is you will become more angry and more spiteful. But in case of King Paimon, he will really teach you how to control that essence, how to control those emotions and direct them into something which will actually be beneficial. And this is a really big part of working not only with King Paimon, but with every possible Jinn, because you will have that urge and flood of those emotions if you work with Jinn specifically, because of their essence, because of their energy composition. I don't know how to describe what I'm talking about, but if you ever called King Paimon or any of King Paimon's Jinns or any of the terrestrial Jinns in general, you will know what I'm talking about. So, one extremely talented black magician said that King Paimon likes to be called Satan, okay? And this is partially true, but he actually doesn't want to be called Satan. He wants to be called Shaitan, okay, in Arabic way, because Azazel, Iblis and Paimon carry all the title of Shaitan, and three of them are separate entities which are part of the one larger force, one larger entity, as you will. So, what else I didn't said about Paimon? So, there is one trick. When Paimon comes to you, he will always come with spirits, with a lot of those. And what you can do is, when you call the king, okay, do not look into his eyes, nor into his statue, nor into his voice. Look around the room and look around you, and then look into the spirits which came with him, and while you observe them, some of them will give you like a sign of agreement, like a sign of goodwill, either verbal or energetic or physical or visible. And to those Jinn you can give commands. King Paimon won't be offended most of the time, but this is a trick which is really helpful, you know. Instead of bothering King with your request, just give your request to the lesser spirits near him. He commands those spirits to compel and do your request anyway. It's really rare for him to actually personally fulfill your request once it is given to him. He usually relies on his servants to complete the task. So why bothering the king when you can tell it directly to his subordinates to save king's time? There is also another trick. He is really fond of wine, that's true, but he is also fond of nice perfumes and artistic offerings. It is much more pleasurable to king to receive offering of a poem, or offering of a song, or offering of sculpture and some fine art, than to eat meat or wine or whatever. He is more interested in artistic creation. There is also another thing about the king I need to specify. He has a female aspect, but he also has a serpent aspect, a snake aspect, a cobra aspect. And that cobra aspect is extremely potent in alchemical rites. And those alchemical rites indeed transform the soul, mind, and the flesh of the sorcerer according to his supreme ascension and potential. King Paimon also can teach you the secret of the way to the Black Sun. For those who don't know, the Black Sun is the world within the Tree of Death, but Black Sun also represents the completely illuminated soul upon the left-hand path. From my experience, King Paimon will force you to think outside of the box. And what you can do, this is an experiment, but I did this experiment many times and it actually worked. Evoke King Paimon and do not ask him questions, nor give him offerings. Instead of those things, just contemplate on particular philosophical topic and talk with king about the topic. And with this high-ranking demon, you will actually have a philosophical discussion, which will be extremely beneficial to you. And he will also take your energy during the discussion as an offering, not large amount. He will take small amount. And this type of getting close with him is extremely pleasurable to him, because he is one of the key architects behind of development regarding philosophy and science. In history, mostly, he is disappointed with modern philosophy outside of black magic. So, yeah, you can literally discuss philosophy with him and give to him that as an offering. And he will enjoy it. What else you can do is, you can ask King Paimon to give you the name of your Kareem. Now, what is Kareem? Kareem is the Jinn which is assigned to you from birth. And once you know the name of your Kareem, that Jinn will really well empower your magic. Also, you can use King Paimon with great efficiency to open up your astral senses, to open up your ability to see and hear spirits. Also, there is one thing Paimon likes really well, and that's regular work with him. So he will appreciate if you work with him daily more than bunch of other spirits, because there is something about daily repetition which is really dear to him. I don't know why, but it is. It's actually much more pleasant to him if you work with him 10 days for 15 minutes than if you work with him 1 day for 2 hours, for example. I don't know why this is the case, but this is the case. Also, he is the force of chaos, so what will Paimon do is, once he enters your life, he will really quickly destroy all of your assumptions. And when he destroys all of your assumptions, he will force you to manipulate that chaos around you and create new ones. He will help you during the process, but you need to do it yourself. And what else I wanted to say? Let me think for a second. He can teach you to initiate through all of the 7 major planets. He also has the knowledge of the stars, the knowledge of psychology, and by the way, he is one of the key spirits which can teach you occult mechanics behind the human psyche. When I say occult mechanics, I mean invisible energetic patterns